Action.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hi, welcome back. I am here today at not my usual setup because today I am at rainy Singapore with Fenty Beauty. And today I am going to play around with their new summer collection. They have some bronzers, new brushes, highlighters. So I'm gonna play around and I will have a special guest with me to help me with my makeup. And it is none other than the Hector Espinal.
What's happening? Thank you for having me on your channel.
It's my pleasure.
It's gonna be super fun. We're gonna do some tips and tricks, introduce you to the summer collection.
I feel a little bit intimidated.
Oh, no, you shouldn't. By all means. No, we're gonna do, step by step from top to finish and get you like a nice Fenty summer glow.
Yep, that sounds really good. So without further ado, let's get on with the tutorial.
Let's get started.
And I got a little bit of tan from Bali last week, but we are going to match our foundation shade. And I'll have a Fenty face.
So let's go ahead and jump in with our Pro Filter foundation.
So excited.
Okay.
Like I was nervous before and now I'm like excited. By the way, don't worry if you're scared you're gonna dirty my scarf. Like it's fine. That always happens.
Yeah, that's a natural thing. So I'm going in with actually 230.
Alright.
So it has a little bit more of an olive undertone. It's very flattering for your skin tone. And I'm first starting with my full body foundation brush to create that coverage that I'm looking for.
I was just about to ask you, like, are you a brush kind of person or a sponge kind of person?
I do both, to be quite honest. And the reason why I do both is because everybody's skin is different, depends on the coverage too that I'm going for. So when I'm doing like a fuller coverage, I go with the brush first, like a good 2 to 3 layers of that, and then do the sponge.
I'm usually a sponge kind of person, but sometimes the brush really gets the coverage really good.
I'd like to do both, but if you notice, you're gonna see something with my sponge, something very different, is that my sponge is gonna be very cold and very damp. Cold, because it could tighten up the pores, so the foundation will lay on the surface. And then I like it very damp, so it can dilute a little bit of the foundation and I can rebuild more coverage. Okay, so let's do that.
Oh, that was pretty fast.
You gotta work fast. So you still see this is like, still have a lot left. So I'm taking the back of my sponge. So what this is gonna do now is really just tighten up your pores so the foundation can look and feel.
I can almost feel it like melting into my skin.
Yeah. So put just a small dab underneath the eyes to prep that step of concealer.
How much foundation do you usually recommend or use?
Depends on the coverage you're going for. So sometimes you want to go for full coverage, then I'll put like 2 pumps. If not, just do 1 and then really depend on the concealer to do that for me. So here what I want to do, instead of going in with more coverage or more foundation, I'm going to let that melt for a second.
I love that how it's so easy to find your shade for Fenty foundations because it's always like, okay, warm undertone. It's clearly labeled.
Yeah.
So I find it really easy to find.
And then the concealers, we did it the same way. So the concealers, we did it. That was actually a project that I worked in personally. So the way we did the concealers is as a corresponding shade to your foundation. So if your foundation is 230, then you're gonna do 230 as your concealer.
So it's not exactly the same. It's actually slightly lighter.
Slightly lighter to create some dimension. But I'm gonna go now with 220, which is 1 shade lighter than your natural color. And it has more of the peachy undertone, as you can see. And what I'm going to do with that is just color correct a little bit underneath the eyes. And then on top of that, I'm going to apply 230, which is your foundation. I'll leave it a little bit lighter with this because I really wanted to do like a nice color correction. So I'm going to use my concealer brush. What I want to do now is tap that coverage. And oftentimes, I think you can even get away with this one.
I usually use a sponge for this as well.
Yeah, so do I. But when I'm building coverage, I want it to stay where I apply it. So now what happens is that it's going to get a little bit tacky. So it's perfect. All I have to do is wait until it dries. And then I can go ahead and put the other concealer. So now what we're going to do is jump into our summer collection.
This is the new bronzer.
Boom, 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 boom.
We have 8 shades of this, right?
8 shades. So the way we did it was that our foundation is divided into 4 families. So light, medium, tan, and deep. So within each family, you're gonna find 2 options of bronzers. One a little bit lighter and one a little bit warmer. And it's just gonna give you the option to really navigate through the bronzers in a very easy way. So I'm gonna use Private Island on you. And the purpose of bronzing is not contouring. Now, I wanna clarify. So bronzing is more of giving that warmth to the skin where the sun naturally hits. So if you notice here, just based on the lighting, naturally you see this perimeter that's forming. I want to grab that plus the apples of the cheek. So contouring is more of a neutral shade, and bronzing is where the sun naturally hits.
I usually do contour and not like bronzing.
Really? It's just a more approachable approach also to like your everyday look. So if you notice, so I'm going to do a little bit more so you can see the difference, right?
This is like not like contouring at all.
No, this is not contouring. So it's all about really creating that beautiful sun-kissed application. And you notice that I'm building this coverage, right? Like it's not like a big, huge wash of like application of color. It's more like a wash.
Yeah.
Because it should look and feel very natural. Smile. Yeah, so really grabbing those apples of the cheek.
And is this the new brush?
Yeah, so this is one of the 2 new brushes. So this is our sculpting brush, which allows me, and it's great because you have more of a smaller shape frame. So if I use the other one, it might be a little too big, but it still does the job. So now let's do a little bit on the lids. Close your eyes. I'm gonna go back with that same concealer.
Why don't you use the primer?
I can use the primer, but you know what I like to do daily is use the concealer to neutralize the area.
So you have like a blank canvas to work on.
What do you usually use?
I usually use a primer, but sometimes the kind that has a little bit more coverage. Concealer works as well, apparently.
So now I'm going to take my taper blending brush with the same bronzer, and I'm going to start saturating the entire lid with this.
You're doing all like very different from what I usually do.
That's
You know?
good.
Yeah, so like I'm learning new things. For you guys always watch my tutorials. Now you learn like something new. You can use bronzers as like eyeshadow. Yeah, technically there's no rules to
Makeup.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big things that we believe in Fenty. It's like whoever put these rules on makeup is like an idiot, because it's a place for you to learn, have fun, make mistakes, try things out. And I always, since I started doing makeup 10 years ago, I've always done bronzer as an eyeshadow base.
Since you mentioned that you did makeup 10 years ago, I'm just gonna go out and ask you, like I read an article that says that you didn't plan on being a makeup artist because you didn't like to touch people's faces.
No, so, okay, so let me tell you what it was. I was a babysitter prior to being a makeup artist. And I was always just very concerned about like him getting sick or like getting any like bacteria or anything, so I became like a little bit of a germaphobe. So when I applied to Sephora, I applied as a cashier just because I had a fear of touching people and getting those germs. So then when I went for my interview, he actually was like, well, I want to make you into a makeup artist. And at first I was like super against it just because of that same reason. But Sephora was my first job, so I learned how to do makeup at Sephora. So for me, it's like, now it's like a normal thing to touch people.
Worked out pretty well for you, touching people's faces.
Right? So now I want to do a little bit something a little different. So if you notice now, you have like a shape going on, right? You have your cheeks, you have your eyes. So now we just want to enhance a little bit more. And I'm actually going to go with the darkest bronzer, which is Mocha Mami. And I'm really just going to use this to create like a beautiful shadow moment going on and enhance it as much as I can. So Mocha Mami has a lot of depth in it, and it's also like a very beautiful terracotta.
It's very warm.
Yeah, on your skin it looks stunning. Really
How old is Fenty Beauty again?
We're not gonna hit 2 years in September.
Wow, not even 2 years yet. I feel like Fenty Beauty is already so big.
It's a great brand. Oh,
We're getting somewhere.
take it, smaller brush, just really saturate that lower lash line.
So how involved is Rihanna with Fenty Beauty?
To be quite honest with you, sometimes I'm like, can you not be this involved?
Really?
Look forward just because she's so amazing and so creative that it makes you second, like I'll come with a very firm, this is what I like, I think this is amazing. She'll be like, really? I was thinking more about X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, God, that's so good. That's so right. You know, she's very involved. It's her
Wow.
brand. It's not one of those founders that just put like her name on something.
Yeah, I was wondering as well.
She's
okay.
extremely involved in everything from packaging, formula, naming of the products. It's truly rewarding because one, she's such an amazing artist in general. And then to see her being so involved in her brand, and I think it speaks volumes. And you know, I think that's one of the reasons why we're so successful, because we have a founder who's so in love with her brand and her products.
Yeah.
We have such great eye shape.
I'm totally gonna like keep the part that you said that I have a good eye shape.
So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm just taking the same color. And if you notice how smooth they blend out.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I'm most impressed with the bronzers. When I first watched it just now, and I'm like, well, they actually blend really well.
That non-blending game, we don't do that.
Yeah, I have high expectations.
Look
so.
up. I think you're like everybody else in the world up to this point. Like they're like, okay, we get it. You're the king of a lot of things now. Game on. But sometimes I'm like, can you guys like give us a chill moment? Like, and it's great because it keeps us on our toes.
There's a lot of hits.
Yeah. Which one are some of your favorites?
I still bring the foundation everywhere, even in my travels. So that means something. The highlighter, of course, the kilowatt highlighter. Oh, and fly liner.
I mean, fly liner is fly.
Definitely.
Like, you know,
it's like so black and like easy to use.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorites.
Well, she uses eyeliner every single day. Like that's her jam.
Ooh.
But she never makes it into like a focus. Does that make sense? Like, you know how people just wear like a plain cat eye? She doesn't do that, but she wears it every
day.
Single day. That's like her thing. Thumbs are always like your best blending brush.
I never knew that a thumb can be a best blending brush.
Oh my god.
By the way, and talk about that, I would always recommend to everyone. Like really, if you want to buy just the blending brush, go for the Fenty one.
Yeah, I think it's very soft. And like, and it still does its thing.
It makes it so easy to blend the eyeshadows. It's so soft.
I agree. So now we're gonna do a second edition of our summer collection, so it's Kilowatt. So this is actually afternoon snack and no honey. So I'm gonna take my concealer brush that has a little bit of product in it. I'm gonna sweep it into both colors, pop that bad boy right in the center, and work our way into brow. Just take a little bit of dimension, right? We don't want it to look too much.
What does that do, by the way?
It just opens up the eye and bring like elongates the space. Do a little bit of that in the tear duct.
Yeah, I always do this. The tear duct part really like opens up. Yeah, really nice lashes. Are they real?
Yeah, these are my mom's has very long lashes. My grandfather was Turkish.
Ah.
We got that in dark circles. How are we looking?
Pretty fly.
So let's do some fly liner. I'm just gonna do like a light definition just on your upper lash line. And you tell me you like fly liner.
This is a crucial one. Even if you get one side right, doesn't mean that you will get the other one right. I do makeup all the time and I still struggle with it.
Do not jinx me. Do not open. So it's once it's fat, still saturate. Pull that. Actually, take a little bit.
I've been holding my breath.
Me too. I just hope I don't pass out.
You've only done one.
Okay, yeah, that's the look. We're done. Can you imagine?
We got scammed.
Yeah, just you know that I tried. I wouldn't trust me.
I have no choice. I saw the video that you did with Bretman.
Oh my god, it was one of the best videos I've done in my career. He's just a very funny and genuine person. Like, what I love about him also, like, he's very sweet.
Oh.
He was not like a diva or anything like that. Like, he was just very down to earth. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is take a little bit of that same concealer, just to put a little bit more in case, you know, we went overboard with our bronzer. I'm gonna blend that out. Now I'm gonna use my sponge, because I don't want to create no more texture. I just want that coverage. I'm just gonna literally take a little bit of Invisimatte. I'm gonna swift it right underneath those eyes.
Invisimatte, you can also use it to set?
No, but I personally like to use it as a setting powder, because I don't want it to look too matte. I just want it to blot any excess moisture.
Invisimatte doesn't have a color, right?
No, it just absorbs shine. So I'm actually going to take a little bit of Yacht Life. I'm going to work that behind my hand. You can use it directly, but because we already have powder, I don't want to disturb anything. So your fingers, and in the essence of less is more, you can build that
Yeah, I think I like it better applied this way.
No look is obviously complete with a little bit of highlight. So we're gonna use the same kilowatt in Afternoon Snack, and then here, when we do it Fenty, say we highlight right underneath the eyes. This is very high, right?
Yeah, that's definitely higher than I usually do.
But what it does, it lifts the face. So see, it sharpens that eyeshadow that you created. Alright, you ready for some lips?
Yeah, so what are we gonna use?
We're actually going to use Mademoiselle in the shade Single first, and then I'm going to finish it with Gloss Bomb, because I have to use Gloss Bomb for every look. So I first like to define Cupid's bow. Then I go and take the tip of the bullet. Okay, so I told you I cannot complete my looks without using Gloss Bomb.
Is this fussy?
Uh-huh. Beautiful color.
Alright, so that's it. This is the final look. I can't believe I had Hector do my makeup.
So easy though.
Incredible.
Like you have a great face shape, which is easy.
This is definitely going in the video. Details on the new Fenty Beauty summer collections will all be listed down below. You can go check out the description box. It's all down below for you guys. And thank you so much, Fenty team, for having me today. And Hector for being here in my video, in my channel. It's really an honor. That's pretty much it before this video gets too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, you can click on the subscribe button below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on my next video, inshallah. Bye-bye!